Hi, this is Mr. Hood, and we're going to look at solving one-step inequalities using multiplication or division. Let's take a look at the first one. Well, inequalities are no different than equations. In order to solve them, you need to isolate the variable, or get the variable by itself. So to get y by itself, we need to get rid of that coefficient of 4 by dividing both sides by 4. And the solution we end up with is -7 is greater than or equal to y. Now, we're going to plot this on a number line as well. But in order to do that, I'm going to suggest that you flip the inequality around to get the variable on the left-hand side. It just makes everything a little bit easier to understand. So if we were to turn that thing upside down, you'd see that the y would move to the left, the -7 would move to the right, and with a little bit of flipping around, you'd see that the sign would change from greater than or equal to less than or equal to. So now that our variable's on the correct side, makes this a whole lot easier to plot. So we're going to put a closed dot right above the -7 because it's less than or equal to, and because it's less than or equal to, we're going to send the arrow in the less than direction. Let's take a look at the second one. Again, to get d by itself, we need to do the inverse operation, which in this case is to multiply both sides by 3, and that's going to leave us with a solution of d is less than -18. Now, in this case, the variable is already on the left-hand side, so it does make plotting it on a number line a little bit easier. So since we just have a less than sign, we're going to put an open dot above -18, and we're going to send the arrow in the less than direction. Let's look at the third one. Again, to get m by itself, we're going to do the inverse operation, that is to divide both sides by -2, and we end up with m on the left and -5 on the right. Now, normally we would just drop the inequality down just like that. But an unusual situation exists when you solve inequalities, and it is this. In the course of solving an inequality, if you have to divide both sides by a negative number or multiply both sides by a negative number, you have to switch the direction of the inequality. So that greater than symbol becomes a less than symbol. So now when we go to plot it, things are just like normal. We're going to put an open dot above the -5, and because it's the less than symbol, we're going to send the arrow in the less than direction. Last one. To isolate the variable p, we're going to multiply both sides by -10, which is going to leave us with a solution of -50 is less than or equal to p. But again, if in the course of solving an inequality, you either multiply both sides by a negative number or divide both sides by a negative number, you have to flip the direction of the inequality. So that less than or equal to will become a greater than or equal to. However, when we go to plot that, again, this is not necessary, but I recommend when you go to plot a simple inequality, let's rearrange it to get the variable on the left-hand side. So when we go to rewrite that, cleaning things up a little bit, we now end up with p is less than -50, less than or equal to -50. So now to plot that on the number line, we're going to put a closed dot above the -50, and because it's less than or equal to, we're going to send that arrow in the less than direction.